TikTok just released 4 massive algorithm changes, and if you adapt to these, it is going to skyrocket the amount of views and the amount of followers that you're currently getting on TikTok. But I will warn you, if you don't adapt to these 4 changes, like the type of engagement they currently want you to get or the features they want you to use, well, you're probably already seeing a decrease in views from that. But all you have to do is adapt to these 4 changes, and it's going to skyrocket your reach. Just like this creator that's been able to gain over 100,000 followers since these changes occurred, and if you adapt to them, the same thing can happen to you. Change number 1 is that comments matter more than they ever have before on TikTok. And I'm not just talking about getting people to comment random emojis or random words. Instead, there needs to be a conversation actually going on in the comment section of what you're posting about. I'm not sure if you've seen before, but in the comments, different searches are going to pop up. The reason for this is because TikTok now taking comments into consideration when they want to rank one of your topics or rank one of your videos for SEO. If you don't know the difference between search engine marketing and social marketing, here it is. People used to go to platforms like Google or Bing and things like that and do searches for them. And obviously people still do that, but a growing number of people are now just coming to things like TikTok or coming to Instagram or coming to YouTube. In fact, YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine and TikTok isn't that far behind them. So what people are doing now is they go to TikTok and do a search for things. And if you want your videos to be able to rank for search on TikTok, well, you need to get people commenting whatever the keyword is that you're talking about in your content. Or what you could do is comment back that keyword to other people. Now, obviously, don't just randomly comment back the keyword. You want to comment back something that is going to provoke them to also say that keyword in their comment back to you. And this is going to increase the odds that your content actually ends up ranking for search on TikTok, which is going to get you 1, more views, 2, more followers, and the most important part is it's going to get your content in front of the people that actually matter on TikTok. Because you just don't want to reach random people on TikTok. You want to reach the people actually interested in whatever kind of content you're creating, and this is one of the easiest ways for you to be able to do it. On top of that though, there are 3 other things that you need to make sure that you're doing if you want to rank for search on TikTok. The first one is that keyword also needs to be in the transcription of your content and in the hook of your content. If it's not in either of those 2 things, you're not going to get the reach that you want. Secondly, it needs to show up in your description. And then finally, you need to make sure that you upload several pieces of content. If you're trying to rank for a specific keyword, you should be creating content that is short, creating content that is long, and creating medium length content trying to rank for that keyword, because you don't actually know which length is going to answer the viewer's problem immediately and get straight to the point. Sometimes it could be a longer piece of content where you have to provide more context, and sometimes it's a shorter video that actually satisfies whatever they were searching for, and that is what's going to lead to TikTok actually pushing that piece of content out. The second big change that you need to make sure that you're taking advantage of is TikTok is pushing creators that go live more than they're pushing anybody else. In fact, if you go live, you're going to get more followers on TikTok. And the reason for this is because TikTok is going to see people are spending more time on your page, more time on your content, and it's going to push out all the other videos that you create. In addition to that, when you go live on TikTok, guess what ends up happening? People see you on the For You page, they see your content on the For You page, and they're more likely to spend way more time on your profile. Secondly, it's going to increase the amount of views that you get. The reason that it increases the views that you get is because it makes all of your old content get pushed even more, and on top of that, you're going to show up in the live feed on TikTok. Essentially, TikTok Live show up in way more placements than anything else on TikTok, and TikTok Lives are going to allow you to make more money. In fact, you can monetize TikTok Lives like crazy right now, and there are literally thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of people that go live on a regular basis on TikTok and actually make a full-time living from this. Now, before we get into the last and 2 most important algorithm changes that are going to affect what kind of content you're creating and how frequently you're uploading on TikTok, I need to make sure that you're staying on top of exactly what is trending on social media in 2024, because if you're not, it's why you don't have the reach you want. For example, how social search is becoming more important than search engines, or how reposting the same content across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube isn't going to work anymore in 2024. And lucky for you, HubSpot just released a 2024 social media trends report that you could get for free at the pinned comment below. This report is going to share with you things like what platforms are the best to post on right now, how to use AI to create your content faster, and it even tells you what type of content brands are paying the most money for right now. My favorite part about this is the part about social search versus search engines, because I truly believe that this is one of the biggest opportunities for you to be able to grow on TikTok, get views on TikTok, and ultimately be able to monetize your TikTok account. If you're struggling with what kind of content you should be creating, or you just want to stay on top of the biggest social media trends of 2024, well, please go to the pinned comment below and download this report right now. It's 100% free. HubSpot helps me stay on top of what's trending on social media, and you should be using them to do the same exact thing. Now for algorithm change number 3, I actually want to go through and show you live examples of the 3 biggest things that TikTok is pushing right now. The first thing that TikTok is pushing like absolutely crazy is what this video is doing right here. If we look, that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So what happened there? We saw 4 clip changes in the first 4 seconds. Now you don't have to change your clips that quickly, but what you do need to make sure that you're doing is changing your clips at least every 3 to 4 seconds, because what this does is psychologically gets the viewer to have a reset in their brain. You need to think about this. When somebody is scrolling on TikTok, if they get bored, what do? They swipe, resets their brain, gives them another dopamine hit. You can do that same exact thing in your content so people don't end up swiping away. In fact, you need to be doing this in your content if you want to get more reach. The second thing that you could be doing is what this creator is doing right here. He has a green screen here. He's using the green screen of another popular video, but you could also do this with a news article or just any photo that you have. And if you look at this video, it's gotten 1.9 million likes, almost 9,000 comments, and 140,000 people saved this. And all it is him reacting to a crazy video he found within his niche. And you can do the same exact thing in your content to skyrocket the amount of views that you get. But you also need to make sure that you're using the 3 best color text, because if you're not using these color texts in your content, it's going to destroy your reach. The first text color that you need to make sure that you're using is going to be black and white text. The second is going to be red text, and then finally blue and white text. These 3 types of text get pushed the most on TikTok, and they're the easiest for somebody to actually view. I see so many people use orange text, use pink text, and guess what? This might be aesthetically pleasing, but it's not going to end up increasing your views, because if you're using colors that TikTok isn't used to pushing out, guess what ends up happening? They classify your piece of content as something they don't have a lot of context in pushing out, and then boom, you end up getting less views on TikTok simply because you use the wrong color text. Now this brings me to the final and last change that you need to be making with this current TikTok algorithm, and that is going to be how frequently you're posting and what formats you're actually posting in. For starters, you should never post more than 3 times a day on TikTok right now. And if you have a post going viral, please take 1 or 2 days off of posting, unless you posted about something that was breaking news and then something else happens and you can create another piece of content on that. So ideally what you should be doing is trying to post 3 times a day, but once one of those posts does really well, you stop posting and you skip the next day of posting. This is going to increase the odds that TikTok continues to push out your content for a really long period of time. And please try to avoid deleting posts on TikTok, and you should never be uploading content that has the watermark of another social media platform. Now, when it comes to the posts that you're actually doing, 70% of your posts should be taking advantage of 1 of 2 things. Either 1, something that's worked on your account before in the past, or 2, something that is modeled after something that is currently working in your niche. And here's the deal. In order to actually create good TikTok content, you need to think about it like this. Before you can innovate, you need to imitate. What do I mean by that? You need to be modeling your content after things that have already worked before on TikTok. This is the easiest way for you to get views. And now 20% of your posts should be testing new things. These could be brand new formats, brand new lengths, things that you haven't seen before on TikTok, but I would not make that the majority of your content. 70% should be stuff that you already know is going to work and things that are going to get you a lot of views. With that 20% of posts, you can end up testing things, and then 10% of your posts right now on TikTok should actually be photos and not videos, because TikTok is pushing photos like crazy so long as they hit these 3 criteria. First and foremost, it needs to be 3 high quality photos. Secondly, they need to have text on the screen with the photos that are going to be telling a story. And then finally, if you upload photos on TikTok, you need to make sure that your description is at least 200 words long, as this increases the odds that they actually end up getting pushed out. Now, if you're still struggling to grow on TikTok and you want to gain over 100,000 followers like how I helped this creator do, well, please watch this video right here that explains exactly how we can work together one-on-one to help you get more views, more followers, and ultimately be able to make money from TikTok. I'll see you over there.